Hello, fellow weirdos! I'm Andy Negative, and today I'm going to teach you how to play my song, Weird Times. Alright, weirdos, on February 26th, I released a song called Weird Times. You can go stream it down below. But I'd be surprised if you'd clicked on this video if you hadn't heard it yet, though. But just on the off chance that you haven't, go give it a listen. And I'm going to teach you how to play the song on guitar right now in this video. I'm going to show you all the cool riffs that I wrote and what I think is like a pretty awesome song. So without too much time wasted, we're going to get right into this. I am playing with this super radical Fender Stratocaster that I custom built to be like a Tom DeLonge style Strat. I love it. I'm playing on Ernie Ball strings because heck yes, and I am tuned into E flat standard, which looks like this, so that you can play along at home with me. So let's dive right into this guitar playthrough thing and figure out how to play all the parts of this song. So in the intro section, it's a very simple kind of dumpweed-esque riff playing on the main melody of the song, and it starts with an E droning on the low string, and then we go up to the G sharp on the 3rd string, then we pop down to the E on the 4th string, back up to the G sharp, and we're going to go from that G sharp and we're going to bend that note up to an A. It's a semitone bend right there. Then we're going to go back down to the E and we're going to double tap. Then we're going to pop back up to the G sharp. Then we're going to drop to an F sharp, which is this open note. Then we're going to hit the D sharp on the 4th string, which then leads us into this little turnaround, this weird section, which is an E, a G sharp on the 3rd string, an open A sharp on the 2nd string, an open D sharp on the 1st string, and a C sharp on the 2nd string. So if we go through very slowly, it looks like this. And at full speed. Next we have the chords for the first verse. Now, it starts out with these kind of big strummed chords like that, and we're pretty much just making a power chord and moving the bass note around. So we start off with an E on the 4th string, a B on the 3rd string, and an E on the 2nd string, which gives us a power chord. And then we're just going to take the E and we're going to move it down to the B on the 5th string and just play it like a chord. Then we're going to play the A on the 6th string like this. We're going to use our middle finger to mute that string right there. We're going to play the open C sharp on the 4th string, and then we're going to play this D and this E, so there's just still there. Gives us some nice big open chords like that, and then we just for the palm muting section, it's just now a trick I like to do is to just pick on the bass note of the chord for the palm muted parts. So I'll play the chord and then palm mute the bass note. Then I'll play the full chord. Just palm mute the bass note. Then there's a lead riff playing in this section, which is very simply played with just your index finger. And we're going to start on the G sharp here on the 2nd string, very high up. And we're just going to slide down to the E a few frets below. And you're going to kind of want to bend the string a little bit. Put a little vibrato on it. And then we're going to slide back up to that G sharp. And back down to the E. And then back up to the G sharp. And then down to the F sharp, and then down to the E for 2. A little faster. And then to get out of that riff, you would just slide that last double E would be, we'd slide it back to that F just to get us into the next section. So at full speed it's the next section is the pre-chorus, and we have a couple cool chords going on here. So the first chord is very simply a B power chord, which is the B on this 5th string, the F sharp on the 4th string, and the B on the 3rd string. Strum it wide open. And then you're gonna bend this power chord a little bit. So we're gonna take the bass note and we're gonna move it down to the A on the 5th string. We're gonna move the middle note down to the E on the 4th string. And then we're gonna hold that octave way up at the B on the 3rd string. So together. That's a pretty big stretch, but you can go. And then you're gonna do that little breakdown section, which is, right now I do that just holding this E note. I'm not even playing it as a power chord, just the one note. A little faster now. Then coming out of that section, we have a little bit of an octave climb. We're doing a B octave, which is a B on the 5th string, and a B on the 3rd string, that full octave there. Then we're gonna slide that octave up to the F sharp on the same strings. It's a pretty big jump. And then we're gonna go up to the B octave, but we're gonna move one string down. And you need to move your pinky finger up one. So, but that's just a standard octave movement. This brings us to the chorus. The chorus is kind of these stabbed chords. This is an E major chord, played at the very bottom of the fretboard. Then we're doing a C sharp minor. Now this is a D minor position, but because we're down half a step, it's technically a C sharp minor, but basically you're doing... And then we're gonna go to an A minor, which is basically just fretting like a power chord, but we're adding an additional note at the very top on the 2nd string. It's gonna take a lot of pinky dexterity to do this one. You wanna get that extra note on the top. And then the pattern just repeats. And then on the last one, instead of doing an A major, we're gonna do an A minor, which is, we've just moved this top note down a semitone, which makes it sound spooky and dark and eerie, and that's the chorus. Now we're moving on to the 2nd verse. There's this cool picking pattern that happens. We start off by fretting the E on the 4th string. Then we've got the B on the 3rd string. Then we've got the E on the 2nd string. And then we'll use our pinky to also fret down the A on the 1st string. So it's gonna be a little tricky because you gotta put a lot of pressure on your pinky. We move down here, so we've got our middle finger on the C sharp on the 5th string. Then we're playing the B, and then the E on the 2nd string. And then we're gonna use our index finger to fret down this G sharp here on the 1st string with our index fingers. We skip this pinky note when we're on our way up, so we get it on the way down. Kind of cool. And then we go down here. You're gonna wanna keep your ring finger planted on this B note right here, and then you're gonna take your pinky finger and you're gonna fret the A on the 6th string, and we're gonna also fret with our index finger B on the 2nd string. Kind of do this little triplet thing. It's pretty cool. So playing that all together. there's a little change the second time through on this verse where we make this cool kind of pattern right here where we play the G sharp on the 6th string, the C on the 3rd string, and the D sharp on the 2nd string. So we got, which gives a little bit of that tension, and then down to the A on the 6th string, and we use this open note here. That's the chord from the first verse, and we just strum it like this. So when you put it together, it's... I kind of hit the bass note and then hit the top notes of the chord, just to make it a little interesting. Play that all up to speed. There's a neat little tapping riff going on here during the second half of this verse. And it's a very simple tapping riff. This is all taking place on the 2nd string. So we go to the G sharp, and we tap off to the E. Then we hammer onto the F sharp, and pull off to the E. Then we're gonna move just the top note up 1 fret to the A, and repeat it again. Then we go back down. Then we repeat that riff from the first verse. We do it just as a slide. So it looks like this. Then the second half of the riff, it's a little more complicated. We're just changing the pattern up a little bit where we'll hit the top note more frequently. Like that, and we move everything down, tapping the F sharp down to the D sharp, hammering onto the E, sliding up to the F sharp, back down to the E, then pulling off to the D sharp, sliding up to the F sharp, and sliding to the E. So I know it sounds like a bit of a mess, but it looks pretty much like this. And up to speed. Going into the second chorus, we basically take the same chords as before and we're going to strum them. And I've added a neat little riff to this one, which is this cool little triplet section. So we're starting with the high E on the 4th string, the high G sharp on the 3rd string, and the high B on the 2nd string. Just like that. We play it like a triplet. Triplet! And then we're gonna move down to the C sharp on the 4th string, and then hit that G sharp and that B as a triplet. Triplet! Then we're gonna go down to the high A on the 5th string, up to the E on the 4th string, and then the G sharp on the 3rd string. And then we're gonna kind of do this little triplet going back down to there, and then kind of finish the riff, going from the G sharp to the F sharp on the 3rd string, and then down to the E on the 4th string. So we get this all together, looks like this. And a little faster. I like to sweep the pick across the strings a little bit for this part. It's not totally sweep picking, but kind of a little bit. So you're just kind of dragging the pick across each note instead of individually picking each one. Might make it a little easier. And then we get to our solo, the biggest, most impressive riff. So we start here on the low A on the 5th string. We go up to the octave of the A on the 3rd string. Then we're going down to the A again, like that. Then we're gonna go to this E on the 4th string, up to the G sharp on the 3rd string, back down to the E on the 4th string, then down to this D sharp, which is 1 fret below on the 4th string, then back up to the E. Kind of like like that. We do that a second time, but we hold on the D sharp. We don't slide back up to that E there. Just like that. Then we slide up to this C sharp on the 5th string, and then up to the G sharp on the 3rd string, back down to the C sharp. Then we're gonna go to the E on the 4th string, then up to the G sharp here on the 3rd string. Then we're gonna go down to this E again, and then down to the D sharp, and up to the E, so it looks like this. And then we do this little triplet motion from a C sharp on our 5th string to the E on our 4th string and the G sharp on the 3rd string. And then we'll go down to this B on the 5th string, then the E on the 4th string, and the A on the 3rd string. You play it all together with one finger, and we palm mute those last ones. So if I put it all together very slowly, it looks like this. Up to speed. It's a lot of finger gymnastics, but it's pretty easy. And then we take that very same riff and we're just gonna move it up on the guitar. So we'll be starting it on the 3rd string. I like to slide up to these notes because you have that bit more of that stretch now because of the way that the guitar is laid out instead of... Right, but it's still the exact same riff. Now where the triplets would be, I just skip them for this next section, so I play it all the way through. And then up to speed. And then to come out of the riff the very last time, we kind of do this. So do it nice and slow. And full speed. And that's it. That is how you play all of the cool riffs and fun chord progressions in my song Weird Times. Again, if you haven't yet, go give a listen to it down. There's a link to my Spotify. You can go follow me on Spotify if you want to. And if you found this helpful or informative in any way, please just obliterate that like button for the YouTube algorithm. I could use as much help as I can get, honestly. Who can't these days? For those of you watching that have been following me for a while, you may have noticed I'm in a bit of a different space. There will be more information about that soon. I'm in a temporary workspace at the moment, but I got some news. And for those of you that have streamed and checked out Weird Times, I genuinely really appreciate it. I'm so stoked to be putting music out there for people and sharing stories about it, and it's been a heck of a fun time. So hopefully this little lesson has given you some insight into how to play my song Weird Times, and if you want to do a cover of it, please do so and send it to me. You can join my Discord. There's a link to it down below. All my socials, all the links are down below. You can contact me if you want to do a cover and send it my way. I would love to hear it, and hopefully you can use this little, what I've shown you here, to be able to better play it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Andy Negative, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye!